What is going on, YouTube? Smashing Pumpkin here, coming at you guys with a video today. Today's going to be another PGN. It's going to be Constellar versus the Antimeta Spirit deck that I profiled in, I believe, a few videos ago. Anyway, he wrote his first turn, and I have a Mind Crush in hand. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do, but then I rip the DD Designator. So I decide to save the Mind Crush for the cards that he has to reveal in his hand and just hit the Pollux out immediately. I think, honestly, that was a pretty bad play on my opponent's part. Just sort of searching out the Pollux and not using it, because Mind Crush is such a staple card in this format, and it just seems really like not a great play. And he goes Trapstone immediately. I don't really like this play either, but it's kind of just like hindsight 2020 in my opinion, because I had the out to it with the Mind Crush to hit the Sombre so he doesn't exceed. But anyway, he has Dark Hole, which is really bad against spirits, and he just kind of punches over the Automata Fiendish Chained. I go Izanami, activate the effect, and then 7 tools the Fiendish Chain so it can resolve. Get the Automata back to my hand, draw off the Nigatama because Izanami is a spirit, and that's one of my favorite combos in the deck. I rip the Mirror Force, which is kind of huge, because he decides to push in for damage here, and he just gets caught in the Mirror Force. He probably wasn't expecting me to play it. So I go Aratama, end up searching out Yaksha here. I was thinking about Nigatama, but I kind of forgot. But anyway, I summon the Izanami against the set. I was thinking it was Effect Veiler, but it ends up I just forget that Constellar play Honest, so that happens. He sets another back row. I'm not concerned at all. I decide to exceed over it, but he ends up having the Psalm Warning, which is kind of a bummer, but in any case, I just set more back row and end. He's in a really bad spot, and after I torrential his field, he just kind of submits. Siding, I take out the DD Designator because he was expecting it. I side in my D Prisons and I believe Thunder King and Fossil Dyna. So he sets 3 back row and ends. 4 back row actually. Baiting out back row isn't too hard in this deck, but he ends up having like really good back row. So he ends up warning my Yaksha again, which kind of sucks. And I just set 2. He MSTs and I accidentally revealed my 7 tools. So that's kind of a dick move because now he knows they can go off perfectly fine. He summons Bear here, just gets the 10 key, and then the slow roll begins. Fortunately, I rip the Thunder King, but unfortunately, I have nothing to do against it because I need to conserve the MST for later, and if he has Lance, he kind of wins. But he slow rolls the Lance like a little bitch, and there's not a whole lot I can do. I could blind space the back row, but then he would have just summoned Cost, beat over, and then I'd have a really bad hand. And yeah, we go into game 3. I don't decide to side anything else, and my hand's really bad. Fossil Dyna is just kind of a late clearance of Pleiades and stuff. So fortunately he has Bear. He doesn't have the Lance for the D Prison, which is good. I set Spirit Invitation, which gets spaced in the end phase, which was honestly a pretty bad play on his part. He should have probably conserved it for something a little bit bigger than just a mindless set. He summons Thunder King, and I just wait on a Spirit, which does not come. And I decide to set 2 Fiendish Chains, which I think is honestly not a good idea. I just didn't want my Compulse to get spaced as well. But he just keeps on beating in. I decide to Mirror Force just to see if he has the Lance. He doesn't, and he just summons Pollux and ends. I set MST and end, and I need him to XYZ so my Fossil Dyna can become alive, so I decide to make the neg play and activate the Fiendish Chain so that he's forced to XYZ with it. And it ends up being like a 2 for 2 essentially, but it wasn't a great 2 for 2, so he attacks in, obviously the trap was laid, and then he summons double Algieti and then goes into another Omega, and this one's going to be harder to deal with, but I feel like I can bait out some stuff and then get around it. And he sets another back row and ends. Here I summon Yaksha and he activates Fiendish Chain. And I've debated for a while if I want that to resolve. And essentially, I figure that I can use my MST for something better in the end, so I decide to let it through. And I think it ends up being a good play to let it through. But he read Sombre here, and he decides not to summon it. And then I do the snaky play of saying Damage Step, and then he activates effect in Battle Step, and I don't chain Compulse. But he summons Sombre, which makes no sense. He activates Book of Moons, so he dodges the Fiendish Chain. I summon Yaksha, and then I finally simplify the game with MST and Phoenix Wing Blast. And now he's in a huge pickle. And then thanks to his search off of Sheraton, I know every card in his hand, and now basically I've won this game. I sped this up because this is a really, really boring part of the game. Nothing he can do is going to get by this situation because I know all the information in his hand, which is why Mind Crush is so killer. Thank you guys for watching the video. I know that this last part gets a little bit boring, but thank you for sticking with me. Obviously just kind of Mind Crush and Solemn Warning and stuff. He didn't show me his hand with his Mind Crush, so I didn't know if I wanted to space the 10 key or not, but it doesn't really matter. I had that game won. Peace.